What if Loki joined the Avengers? Imagine a world where, instead of seeking power over Earth, Loki makes a decision that reshapes the course of the entire Marvel Universe. Instead of invading New York in the Avengers, Loki decides to join forces with his brother Thor and the Avengers themselves, taking his first steps down the path of redemption. This choice has monumental consequences, altering every key event in the MCU, beginning with the Battle of New York. With Loki on their side, the Avengers gain an advantage they could never have anticipated. Instead of clashing with his brother, Thor is able to fight alongside Loki. The two work in perfect sync, blending Thor's raw power with Loki's strategy and magic. With Loki's inside knowledge of Thanos' strategies, he warns the Avengers about the Chitauri's tactics, helping them to prepare. The battle itself becomes an exercise in strategic illusions. Loki creates multiple images of himself to confuse and mislead the Chitauri, tricking them into ambushes, while Thor takes out their ground forces with brutal efficiency. What's more, Loki's warnings alert the Avengers to the true threat, Thanos himself. This sets them on a path of intense preparation and vigilance, prompting the team to keep a closer eye on intergalactic threats. Loki, knowing the Titans' ambitions firsthand, becomes their reluctant guide, sharing information he once held to himself. However, his involvement raises tensions within the Avengers. Tony Stark and Black Widow in particular struggle with trust issues. Loki's track record of manipulation makes him a difficult ally to accept. Yet as the battle concludes and the Avengers emerge victorious, Loki's value becomes undeniable. If you like the video and don't want to miss the next one, subscribe. I will be very grateful. The path to worthiness. One of the biggest shifts occurs in Thor's journey with Mjolnir. Originally, Thor had to prove his worthiness after being cast out to Earth by Odin. By defeating Loki and sacrificing himself to save the town of Puente Antiguo, Thor earned back the power of Mjolnir. However, with Loki now fighting alongside him, Thor's sacrifice is no longer a test of strength against his brother's evil. Instead, Thor's worthiness comes into question as he learns to forgive Loki, grappling with the fact that Loki, his brother who once tried to kill him, now fights by his side. Loki's transformation, however, is unexpected and far-reaching. At one point, in a moment of desperation during a fight, Mjolnir permits Loki to wield it briefly. This shocks everyone, including Loki himself, hinting that even he might have the potential for redemption. This moment solidifies Loki's commitment to the team, even as he wrestles with his desire for power and recognition. But as much as he tries to change, Loki's core nature remains mischievous, and the trust issues linger. Ultron, the unexpected alliance. When Ultron rises in Avengers, Age of Ultron, Loki's presence makes a world of difference. Unlike the original timeline, where Ultron's AI intelligence swiftly outwits the Avengers, Loki's cunning and strategic mind helps counter Ultron's moves. Knowing how to manipulate, deceive, and exploit weakness, Loki anticipates Ultron's strategies. He becomes the first to recognize Ultron's desire for evolution as a point of vulnerability. Loki teams up with Tony and Banner to devise a psychological warfare strategy against Ultron, using illusions to distort his perception and bait him into making mistakes. In Sokovia, Loki plays an active role in rescuing civilians, which becomes a surprising turning point in his journey. The people he saves look at him not with fear, but with gratitude. Thor watches his brother's growing heroism, but Tony remains skeptical, questioning Loki's true motivations. Yet as the city is saved and Sokovia doesn't fall, the Avengers realize Loki's presence has allowed them to minimize casualties. His redemption arc is strengthened, and he earns a tentative acceptance from even the more wary team members, though Tony remains vigilant. The tension of civil war. When the Sokovia Accords come up in Captain America Civil War, Loki's manipulative skills turn the tide of the Avengers conflict. Observing the growing tension between Tony and Steve, Loki becomes the unlikely peacekeeper. Recognizing that division within the team is Thanos' best hope for success, Loki leverages his charm to mediate between the Avengers. With his wit, Loki draws attention to their common goals, and his diplomatic influence keeps the Avengers from splintering into open war. Instead of a catastrophic divide, the team reaches a reluctant compromise. Loki even exposes Zemo's role early, redirecting the Avengers' frustration onto a common enemy. While Tony and Steve still harbor unresolved resentment, the Avengers remain a united force, with Loki continuing to advocate for the survival of Earth against a greater threat, Thanos. Infinity War: Loki's self-sacrifice. By the time Infinity War arrives, Loki has come a long way from his power-hungry beginnings. He is no longer the defeated Loki who surrendered the Tesseract to Thanos on the Asgardian refugee ship. This time, Loki stands prepared to make a genuine sacrifice. In a shocking act of bravery, he uses his magic to teleport Thor and the remaining Asgardians to safety, choosing to stay behind and face Thanos alone. Confronting Thanos with unwavering courage, Loki deploys every trick in his arsenal, crafting illusions and traps to delay the Mad Titan. Though ultimately overpowered, Loki's defiance earns him Thanos' twisted respect. Loki's sacrifice gives the Avengers time to regroup and strategize, realizing that the cost of failure is unimaginable. With Loki's warning about the Infinity Stones and Thanos' power echoing in their minds, the Avengers are better prepared. His sacrifice serves as a powerful moment of redemption, proving his loyalty to his brother and to the team. Endgame. The final battle with Thanos. Loki's presence leaves a lasting mark on the Avengers as they navigate the fallout of Infinity War and plan the time heist in Endgame. With Loki's unique understanding of Asgardian magic, they are able to pull off the heist with more precision. Loki's guidance helps them retrieve the Reality Stone from Asgard without attracting unwanted attention, and he even aids Tony and Steve in locating the Tesseract without complications. Loki's involvement prevents some of the near-miss disasters of the original heist, allowing the team to focus more fully on retrieving the stones and avoiding fatal encounters. In the final battle against Thanos, Loki's powers play a crucial role. He uses illusions to shield the Avengers from Thanos' onslaught, creating countless copies of the Avengers to confuse Thanos and his forces. At one pivotal moment, Loki uses his magic to keep the Infinity Gauntlet out of Thanos' reach just long enough for Tony to act. When Iron Man makes his heroic sacrifice, Loki is the first to acknowledge Stark's bravery, mourning the loss of the man who had once doubted him, but ultimately accepted him as part of the team. As the final battle concludes and peace returns to the universe, Loki's transformation stands as one of the most unexpected yet powerful journeys in Marvel history. No longer the mischievous villain he once was, Loki has become a hero in his own right, an honored member of the Avengers, and a trusted brother to Thor. Through his journey from power-hungry god to a defender of Earth, Loki's choice reshaped not only his own legacy, but the fate of countless lives across the cosmos. He proved that even those once destined for darkness could find redemption and purpose. And now, here's a question for you. Which version of Loki would you prefer? A noble defender of Earth or the dark anti-hero we can't look away from? If you like the video and don't want to miss the next one, subscribe. I will be very grateful.